Eyewitness News presents Newsmakers with your hosts Jane Ann Bugda and Andy Mahalchik.
Hello and welcome to Newsmakers. I'm Andy Mahalchik.
And I'm Jane Ann Bugda. A new school year is about to begin, and today we are sitting down with two local superintendents as they prepare to welcome back students to class.
We'll be talking about new programs, challenges, keeping students safe, and much more. Coming up, meet our guests.
And our conversation begins when this edition of Newsmakers returns right after this. Welcome back to Newsmakers. I'm Jane Ann Bugda along with Andy Mahalchik, and it's been some time since Jane Ann and Andy graced the halls of Hazleton High School, the castle on the hill.
Well, they kicked me out. I don't know about you. I'm only kidding. I graduated from Hazleton High School, not area, in 1978.
There you go.
Proud to say I was a mountaineer.
I was a mountaineer as well, and a lot has changed since we graced the halls of school, but what hasn't changed is the preparedness that goes into taking care of our children as they go back to class.
And the first day jitters, you know, when you have your new school outfits, only for the first day, you go back to the old stuff. And we're always excited to talk to superintendents because one thing that doesn't change over the years, no matter what, education is crucial, and it's exciting in many ways to go back to school. And education, parents from every generation want their kids to have the best education. So let me introduce our guest today, Dr. Aaron Keating, Superintendent of the Scranton School District, and Dr. Brian Uplinger, Superintendent of the Hazleton Area School District, Jane and mine home school. So now there's pressure because it's our home school district.
A lot of pressure.
So thanks for both coming today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having us. Yeah.
We want to know a little bit, just tell us a little bit about, how long you've both been superintendent.
So I am in the Scranton School District for 16 months. Went way faster than I thought it would to make it over a year. I came back in April of 2024 on the day of the solar eclipse. So I will never forget that. No. And I'm really happy to be back. I'd been in the district before that, and I was in Old Forge as a superintendent for a while. And then I came back, so I'm really excited to be here.
Brian?
I've been with Hazleton area, if you can believe it or not, 9 years already, going on 9 years. Started in 2017 with the district. It was certainly a change from what I've been used to, coming into a very large district and one that's ever changing. So I'm proud to be there. I'm excited to stay there. And there's a lot of things that have been going on since 2017 that we put into place.
Again, I'm a homer for sure. To survive in the Hazleton Area School District for 9 years.
9 years.
And you were the first to have a renewed contract for what,
I was.
20 years?
25 years. I was the first superintendent in 25 years to get his or her contract renewed.
And I say that jokingly.
And they've done that twice, yes.
And we're having some fun, but any superintendent, and we talked about this before we came to air, it cannot be an easy job. There's no way with all the dynamics and the education and the young kids, older
it's
kids.
A piece of cake.
Right.
I
think the average lifespan is 3 years right now.
Shelf life,
About 3 years. Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
So how do you begin planning for a new school year? And I want to know, while we're talking, we do have some interesting facts about both the districts that we'll be showing.
So honestly, planning starts the first day of school of this school year. I mean, honestly, we'll open up schools on the first day. The senior cabinet will sit down that afternoon and go through everything that went wrong and everything that went right and what we have to put in place to fix it for next year. Scranton is very unique. We are on a calendar budget, not a fiscal budget. So we just actually did our proposed preliminary budget in July and passed that, and we're in the budget process to pass our final budget in December. So we are actively planning for all of 2026. So the 26-27 school year has to be included in that for us to be ready to pass our budget.
And Dr. Uplinger, talk about the Hazleton Area School District and the dynamic there, because it's the largest school district in our coverage area.
It is, and if we're not, we are one of the fastest growing districts in the state of Pennsylvania or Commonwealth. When I started, we had 11,500 students. Now we're up to 13,700, 13,800. Maybe when I go back, we'll be 13,900 or 14,000. I don't know. And that's okay. We don't mind that. We just have to be able to find the space to be able to educate all of our students that are coming to us. We've done that remarkably over the last several years that I've been with Hazleton. We've renovated spaces to create new classrooms. We've closed swimming pools in some of our buildings. We reduced the size of our libraries to create media centers, and then actually add classrooms that way too. We don't have anywhere else to go, so we're in the process of a building plan right now.
And what are some of the challenges? I know there's probably millions, but big challenges that you face when you say, oh, here we are in the new school year.
Oh, so definitely safety. Safety, security, that's number one. That's top notch. If the students don't feel safe coming into the school, then there's no education that's going to happen. So it's really important for us to make sure that all the buildings are safe, the areas around the buildings are safe, people that are coming in to visit, visitors, parents, guardians, what have you, other administrators, other teachers, things like that coming into schools. It's really important that we have certain protocols in place so everybody feels safe, and then that education then could happen, you know, with them coming in. But key is safety.
For me right now, it's enrollment. I mean, we are just every single day sitting down in the district office looking at numbers of what classes in what schools are close to going over capacity caps. And we've had a dramatic increase, and I know Scranton is the only school district locally you've seen it, in children who are diagnosed under the autism spectrum. And in a rough statistic, in 2020, 2021, maybe we had 23 autistic support classes. We're going to open the first day of school with 45.
Wow.
So those are classrooms that you have a limit on the number of students because of their exceptionality and what they require in that class. So you only have maybe 8 students in a full-size classroom and the resources that are needed for those students. So watching not only our identified population of exceptional children, but at the same time watching our overall enrollment. Right now, we're every day looking up where are we going to be okay, where are we going to have problems, and like you said, trying to be creative and find space right now to meet those needs.
And you're talking about building space. I've covered, if I had a penny for every school district building project I've covered in northeastern central Pennsylvania the last 50 years, I could build with all gold bricks.
Right.
But every building program is a challenge. But now in 2025, are there more challenges with requirements and specifications, and as you said, special needs students and different, the building projects of today are not the building projects of even 5 years ago?
No, you're absolutely right. And there are codes. Code has changed dramatically since 1949 when, you know, the school code was implemented.
Right.
So there are different hurdles that we have to jump. There are different size requirements of classrooms that we have to incorporate. Like Dr. Keating had mentioned, with autism spectrum disorder students, we can only have 8 students in a classroom. That's a full-size classroom that we lose, if you will, to a full-size number of students that come in there, 30 students, for an example. But yes, it's totally different than what it was many years ago. When I was a building principal in Erie, there was a building project going on there when they built a new K-6 building. I was the high school principal, 7 to 12. The superintendent wanted me to help with that project. That was an eye-opener, to believe me. It was unbelievable. But since even then, the standards and the codes and everything have changed.
But you're also building technological infrastructures, and you didn't do that when a lot of our older buildings were constructed. To allot for not only the technology that exists right now, but what technology are we going to need to be prepared for 5, 10, 15, 20 years beyond now, because technology is advancing so quickly. I mean, when you try to run camera systems, surveillance systems, metal detectors, all of these brand new PA systems with the AI technology that's built into things now, when you're doing it in an old building, I mean, you have areas of dead space because how the actual concrete structure is created makes it impossible to get signals in different areas where newer construction allows for all of those technological advances. And I just don't think, you know, nobody thought when you were building buildings, and some of your buildings are the same, the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, that you would have these technological infrastructures that exist today.
Right.
And I look at places like West Scranton High School and the Castle up on 9th Street in Hazleton, how they're built. I mean, they were built literally
like fortresses
to survive a nuclear attack. And so I can't even imagine, how do you do the infrastructure? I mean, how do you plan? Building new schools are one thing, but how do you adapt those buildings? Does AI help do that for you?
It does, somewhat, in some respect. Going to the Castle and just talking about it for a second, and it's very true. There is no space to run new wires, new fiber, new camera systems through there. So we have to look at tracks and things of that nature that will hide those wires and what have you. We can't really do anything wirelessly because it's a fortress, like you said. There's a lot of dead space, there's a lot of dead area within that building that technology doesn't really reach. So we really have to think about how are we going to incorporate all of these little nuances that go along with the technology, the cameras and the servers that they're all recorded on and what have you. But it's a big challenge, especially in older buildings.
Well, a lot of times, you'll see the wires run and hidden through the whole building.
And you have no choice. I mean, that's just what it is.
Correct.
And you know, with all that dead space, I have to ask, what is the policy on cell phones? Because I'm sure everybody's getting out on them. What is the policy in schools for cell phones?
So for us, we still have a policy where if it's on your person, it's supposed to be turned off or it's supposed to be in a locker. I know a lot of schools are going to not having cell phones, and I support people's decision making in that. I'm a huge proponent that eventually we have to teach etiquette. We have to build etiquette in. Every one of us has a phone. Every one of us has a phone on us 24 hours a day. So how do we teach kids when to use a phone, when not to use a phone, how to use a phone appropriately? What are those skills that we need to be able to give a child so that they don't do something that could get them into trouble with that device? I do think there has to become a piece of etiquette that becomes part of basic knowledge, because we know the technology is not going away.
Do you think the state has to play a big role in that, or are we still depend, or should it still be a local school district decision? And that's a debate in itself.
My opinion, I think the state has to play a bigger role. And to what Dr. Keating had said, that for our students, we have 70% of our students are Latino, Hispanic backgrounds. There's 3,700 students that are ESL, designated as ESL. Some of our staff members utilize that technology on their cell phones to help translate things that are happening in the classroom. The student might turn it on to have, for translation. They'll hear what their teacher is saying, and then obviously it'll show them what's being said in their own language. So it does help. There are other, the other side of the coin is it's a big distraction in the classroom. They're not listening like they should. So yeah, it's a lot of give and take, but I think, in my opinion, the state needs to play a bigger role.
And when it comes to cell phones also, we've done numerous stories over the years. In fact, I was talking to Dr. Upland a couple of years ago about the phone policy. A lot of parents, and being a father and a grandfather now, you're torn because you want that for safety. If something, heaven forbid, happens, you want to be able to reach out to your child or have them be able to contact you and say, hey, I'm in room number 1, or I'm hearing this happening, what do you hear? And to get alerts and stuff. So that's really, it's a tough decision.
Yeah, it's why I always go back to etiquette. There's just, there's a basic time when it's appropriate to use, and there's a time when it's not appropriate to use, and that there's wonderful tools and devices like translation services available on your phone. I've used it in an Uber to communicate with my driver. So I think that teaching people, here's how to use this tool correctly, but at the same sense, here's how this tool could get you into trouble, and making sure we're making that part of that basic education that we give everyone on technology. The phone has to become part of that.
And change is always a challenge. No one likes change. I don't like change, but I really don't. But once you get into a routine, we make it work. It's like, for example, if you have a computer password, just when you start to remember it, and it's muscle memory, corporate says you got to change it.
Change it.
Because it's like for the next couple of weeks, not recognized, but you do it.
Yeah.
Right.
And you touch upon safety, and I do want to mention, the event of, gangs in schools and bullying. How do you handle that? What is the policies and what is the protocols?
So I think safety, we speak of safety as this giant umbrella term, and there's pots that it's in. So there's physical building safety, like is the building secure? Does it lock well? Is everything safe that somebody can't get inside of the building or breach the building in any way? And then there's the services that come with that. So your security team and your security guards and your armed security guards and your hall monitors and all of those people. But then you also have to look at safety from the mental health perspective as well. Do you have those resources available for students who may be at risk or are in crisis? So your licensed social workers, your counselors, your crisis counselors, you have all of those folks as well. So safety, like when you're looking at that umbrella of safety, there's so many different pots that fall under that, and it's getting all of those pots to be the best that they can be so that you're really wrapping that safety around that child.
Right, and I certainly agree. Hazleton, being one of the largest school districts in the area, has its own police department. So we have SPOs armed almost at every building. We have security guards in every building. We have metal detectors coming in and out of coming into the schools. We have the camera system that goes throughout every building and throughout the district office and things everywhere. But yes, mental health is huge. We need to focus on the mental health of our students. And like I had said earlier about the safety of the buildings, if a child doesn't feel safe coming in, they're not going to learn. If a child is having a mental health issue, he or she is not going to learn. So we have to address those types of situations as well. And if that child is having a mental health issue, you have to worry about the other children that are in the classroom with him or her. That is this child being helped in every way possible, as well as the other students that are witnessing maybe something that's happening in the classroom.
And then it's the practice and the drills and the training. When we all went to school, we did fire drills. That everybody knew that bell rang, you were going outside. Right. But it's also doing the lockdown drills and the shelter-in-place drills and the evacuation drills, because I was in a training once, and it's always stuck with me. Your body can't go where your mind's never been. So you have to train people and you have to rehearse them to be ready for situations. Hopefully they never occur. But having those drills in place is another part of safety, and making sure that you're rehearsing those things on a regular basis.
It's the old term is practice makes perfect. It doesn't matter again if it's 2025 or 1975 when we were in school. You did the fire drills, but you knew where to go.
Yep.
And although it was like an afternoon outside, it was great. But you knew what to do, heaven forbid. But now it's such a different world. And I always say, even from our perspective as journalists and reporters, we will do school safety stories. And honestly, some people will say to me, well, you're just telling the bad guys what to do. The bad guys know what to do. They don't need us to tell them.
They know
Sadly, they do.
Sadly.
Yeah. Anyway, so.
Are there any new courses or programs on the horizon for this year in Scranton?
So we're super excited because last year in January we were able to bring back our first pre-K class, 4-year-old pre-K. We partnered with ACE of NEPA and Head Start to be able to do that. We're expanding it into 2 more buildings this year. So John Adams Elementary and Nickel Plaza will also have it, and we're hoping to keep expanding out even if it's during the course of the year. But we are really, really excited about bringing in our 4-year-old residents of the city and acclimating to the school. So it was so cute and it was so much fun last year to have them in Charles Sumner. So we just want to see that program flourish.
I'll say this, I have a 6-year-old grandson and he was in pre-K. And I'll be the first to admit, let him stay home. Pop will take care of him every once in a while. We'll take whatever. He flourished in that pre-K program where he goes to school. I mean, he just flourished. Now he's going to kindergarten. It's like, he's ready to go.
For me right now, one of my biggest focuses is outreach to birth to 5 providers, because they create the world of kindergarten readiness for us. And having those dynamic partnerships with those providers, pediatricians included right now, is a huge piece of something that's personal work to me, because that's how I'm going to make sure I get my kids ready for kindergarten and then get them on the right track to be successful.
We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll find out what's going on in the Hazleton Area School District. You're watching Newsmakers, and we're a proud recipient of several PAB and Keystone State Media Awards for Best Talk Show for Public Affairs in the state. You can find information on today's program on our website, 2822news.com, and we'll be back right after this.
Welcome back to Newsmakers. Andy Mahal, along with my colleague and friend Jane Ann Bugda, and our special guest today, Dr. Aaron Keating, Superintendent of the Scranton School District. and Dr. Brian Uplinger, Superintendent of the Hazleton Area School District. I believe the two largest school districts in our coverage area and the northeastern Pennsylvania, and definitely Hazleton, the sixth largest in the entire Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. That says a lot. Wow.
Right. When I started, going back to what I had said earlier, we were 12th. Now we're down to 6th.
Wow.
So we're moving fast.
We were talking about pre-K before, and I didn't get a chance to ask you the pre-K program. Is there one in Hazleton right now?
We do. We have the pre-K. We have a pre-K program. We work with a lot of partners across the district, daycares and what have you. We also have the MAWA, the contract, if you will, for the early intervention program for all of Luzerne County and parts of Wyoming. So what that means, we run that program for other school districts. We put our teachers in those areas and support the students that are in early intervention. Some of the programs that we have, we're expanding that program a little bit. So because of the number of classrooms that we don't have, we had to rent some space in our local Y, which is now reopening again for it was closed for the longest.
That's a good thing for the community.
It's a fantastic thing.
Absolutely.
We're excited for that to come back. But we've had to rent some space there to place some additional early intervention classrooms in, so we can create some space for our kindergarten students that might be autistic support.
I know, when you talk about schools, when we went to school, there was the elementary, middle school, and high school.
Junior high school.
Junior high school. Sorry, junior high school, yes. Right. But now we have STEM schools, schools for arts, cyber school. It's amazing. Tell us a little bit about those schools.
You started.
Sure. So I'll start again. So every child, I'm a firm believer that every child, every individual has the ability to learn, regardless of how much or how little. Everybody learns at their own pace, in their own way. So having these different modes of education, if you will, is really important for today's child. We have a STEM school. We've had that going on 12 years now. We have an arts and humanities building that we just opened recently in 2023. We have a cyber academy that we opened in our local mall, which is weird and different than any other place around the area. But that has helped us a lot with space, because then we didn't have to worry about putting those dedicated teachers that are in our cyber academy in areas across the district in schools. We can use those areas for classrooms. So we have when I started, we had about 70 students in our cyber. At the time it was called the Virtual Academy. We changed the name when we went to the mall, and it's now our Hazleton Area Cyber Academy, but we have over 800 students in that program now. Wow. We would really be in trouble if we had to bring those students back and if that cyber program closed, which it isn't, obviously. It's going to continue to grow and get much, much larger.
Cyber is we have over 700 students in cyber right now. Cyber is a program that, again, when I talked about technological infrastructures, it has become just an option. It's a flexible option for families. I've seen it work really well for kids who need that, whether they need to work or they're doing stuff to take care of people at home, or I've seen it work with kids who are on track in athletic programs, competitive athletic programs, or being recruited into different things where that option allows them to be able to do what they need to do. What we don't want cyber to do is become an escape from truancy or discipline, because then a lot of times those kids flounder there. So it's really important that the schools still offer that full battery of resources, like those mental health resources that we talked about before, so that those kids still have a safe place to come, or they have adults to connect to, so that we make sure that they're still part of the Scranton School District, even though they're operating in a more virtual world. They still have an option to come in and talk with teachers and work with teachers just like yours do, and have access to those resources and play on the sports teams and be involved in the extracurriculars and all of the things that the district has to offer.
We have about 90 seconds left. Very quickly, are you having a hard time? What's the report on recruiting new teachers? Getting people into education, because we're hearing all kinds of reports that they don't want to teach anymore.
99.3% fill rate. We had a fantastic summer recruiting teachers. We do have a lot of teachers who are working towards certification. It's not like it was when we came out of school and everyone had their certification. But we had, my HR department, I have to give them a huge shout out, did an awesome job, and on our July 28th board meeting, we were at a 99% fill rate.
We're about the same, which is tremendous because there
That's
are a
great
lot
to
of
hear.
districts that don't have
Right.
have staff members, but we're very, very fortunate. The same thing. Shout out to our HR team for bringing those folks in. We're doing really well.
And you're partnering with LCC with a new
We are.
program as
That's
well.
huge. So the program that we have with LCC provides a quicker track, if you will, to obtaining their certification, teacher certification. So students from our district, whomever, can go to LCC, get a 2-year associate degree, go to the Commonwealth campus, Commonwealth University, obtain their bachelor's, come back to us to do their student teaching. It's a win-win.
And we would love to do a whole show on that too
Sure.
as well. And we have less than a minute, and I want to thank you both for what you do, because I really admire, after hearing today what you do, you really should be admired and thanked for what you do in keeping our children safe.
Absolutely. Yep.
Thank you.
So Dr. King, Dr. Uplinger, thank you for joining us today. For Andy Mahalchik and everyone behind the scenes, I'm Jane Ann Bugda. We have a lot more information on our show today, some of the facts you saw, and different things about the schools that throughout the year that you can find out. That's on 2822news.com or under the Newsmakers link. For everyone here, thanks for joining us, and we'll talk again next time.